everyone, Ashlee here. I know I've been kind of gone for a couple of months. I've had a lot happen over the past couple of months. I am now a single woman running my own furniture business. It's kind of scary, but I'm excited about it and I'm going to push forward with it. I'm not going to quit. There's no reason to quit at this point. Just keep pushing forward and do the best you can with what you got. So, anyway, back to the video. I am finally posting the Cedar Lane chest, or Lane Cedar chest, however you want to say it. It's been a couple of months, and it's about time you guys see exactly how I fixed it up and made it from completely broken to like new again. So if you like what you see, please remember to hit the subscribe button, tap the like button, and follow me on my other forms of social media. I'm on TikTok, I am on Instagram, and I'm on Facebook. And I would greatly appreciate it. And here we go. So here she is in all of her glory at the very beginning, and very, very damaged and needing a lot of care and TLC. And as you'll see, the process was pretty crazy with this. So I've never had to open a hope chest before, and I didn't realize that the button just popped in and you could pop the lid open. So I ended up taking the hinges off. Now I'm taking all the hardware screws out to take all of the hardware off the front of the chest. And now this is the knob, the broken one in the front that I had to take off. It was a bit of a pain, and you'll see here in a second the bolt was all sorts of twisted and it was awful to look at. I'm like, oh my goodness. Yeah, that's kind of crazy, guys. All right, now it was cleaning time. I use Crud Cutter for all of my projects. It doesn't smell the greatest, but it does work really well trying to get all of the grease off and all of the dirt. It does a really, really good job. And I use paper towels. You can probably use a rag, but so here I'm just gluing down the little flap of wood that was on the top, just so that way I don't have to peel anything off. And I'm also doing the same thing on the corner. And I had to finagle a crazy thing with the C-clamp because nothing else was actually holding in. And I let it dry for about a day. It was a day before I went back and worked on it. And now I'm cleaning the leg and working on the little leg that's there, getting it all spruced up and everything. Now I'm applying citrus strip to everything. Now this stuff isn't the greatest, but in this instance, it was the only thing I had on hand and I know how to use it fairly well, so. And it did come off fairly easily. What I did was I used really harsh grit, steel wool and some water just to deactivate it. And now I'm filling in some holes with some DAP wood filler. Now this is actually Tintable wood filler. I'll leave a link in the description below for you guys if you're interested. Now I'm doing the rest of the body. And let me tell you, I only show this one bit of me stripping this, but I had to do this like 2 or 3 times. It was so insane with how much details on the front of it and everything. I had to use a scrub brush and everything on parts of it. And now I'm out here sanding off the rest of the remaining stain on the top of the lid. And I did go through a couple of spots, but it wasn't so bad where I couldn't hide it. Now here's the part where I start to kind of use Bondo to fill in the corner of this. Now there's more to this process, which you guys will see in a minute, but I wanted to get a base foundation in here just so that way I didn't have to use the mold for all of it. I wanted it to be as little with the mold as possible. Now it was messy and it was time consuming. I don't want you guys thinking this looks easy. I can do it. If you're uncomfortable doing reconstructing things like this, start out small. So here I am making the mold out of all-purpose caulk and some soap and warm water. Now I will do a separate video for you guys on how I did this, just so that way it could be a little bit in more detail. I didn't want this video to be super long. It was a very long process to do this piece. So right now I'm just wrapping it around the other end of it that has the same exact mold on it, so that way I can just transfer it over to the other side, like I'm doing right here. Now this is where it gets really tricky. There's a lot of spots that ended up being out of whack and not completely centered, which you will get doing these kinds of molds. So you just got to kind of go with the flow a little bit on this. There's probably a better way to do this, but this was the one way that I knew how to do it. And I tried lining everything up, but then when I went to go squish it in, I squished it in a little too much and it became a little wonky, and I had to redo it a few times or just add to it a little bit here and there kind of thing. I'm just waiting for it to set. It usually takes about 5 to 10 minutes to set with this, just to get a hard outer shell so I can take the mold off. I probably could have let it sit a lot longer with the mold on. I was just nervous that the mold was actually going to stick to everything if it sat there long enough, but luckily it didn't. So yeah, it actually comes off fairly easily, which is also a bonus. And now I'm trying to smooth out what I just did a little bit, just so I could kind of get a better idea of what I was working with. And I ended up over sanding in a few spots, so I had to redo some spots. It's all trial and error with this, trying to figure it out the first time. And when I did the rest of it, I did little sections at a time because I didn't want to overdo it too much at once and have it go completely wrong. And then this is the rest of the piece after I did all the other patchwork to it and everything, after it's been stripped, and it looks really, really nice down to bare wood. And now for the moldings, I am hand sanding everything, even the legs, because I didn't want to over sand it and then flatten it and then have to do more again. At least if I hand sand it, I can control it a little bit better. And now I'm reattaching that other leg with some wood glue and some screws. I made some more pilot holes for screws. And I also screwed the leg into the base again because it wasn't lining up correctly. So it needed to happen. And now I'm just touching up some other spots. And I also filled in that screw hole that I made on the other part of the leg on the bottom. And now here's me finishing up that last little bit of the top part of the corner. But yeah, this was definitely a process, guys. If you're looking into getting into this kind of stuff, just realize it takes a lot of trial and error, and you have to be really, really confident that you can actually repair it. So here's what it looks like. It wasn't the greatest, but it was a lot better than what it was. And then I tried using the Tintable wood filler in this top section, and it failed miserably. I didn't videotape this part, but after 2 days of letting it sit, it still wasn't completely dry. And it also was not sticking to the Bondo, which I did not realize at the time, but yet again, you live and you learn. So I ended up scraping all of it out and filling it with, I think it was the Bondo wood filler version, which I had a little bit left of. All right, now here I am staining the whole entire piece. And I love the fact that she wanted to keep it the same color because it looks absolutely beautiful in this dark color. Now the spots where the Bondo is, you guys are probably like, why are you just doing that? Honestly, after I did one really good coat on this, and then I ended up doing another really good coat after it. And I think I did a third also just to cover it. But here is the rest of the top. And it looks really, really good. It looks streaky to some of you, but in person, it was not this bad. And here is the finished product. I think she looks absolutely beautiful. I skipped a bunch at the end. I was in a rush trying to get it done so that way the customer could get it back. But I just wanted to give you guys a nice view of what it looks like. And I absolutely love how she came out. She looks really, really good. And everything's all nice and polished. I also got some new knobs for the front, just so that way it had something on those spots, because otherwise it would have looked really weird, and it matched the previous hardware completely. So here's also another good before and after shot of the top part of it. It looks good compared to what it could have been. And then here are pictures from far away also. But yeah, in the end, the customer absolutely loved it, and I hope you guys will too. All right, everyone, that's it for me with this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you do, again, feel free to support my channel by hitting the subscribe button, tapping the like button, and even the notification bell, so that you can get notifications whenever I post a video, which hopefully in the future I will be doing a lot more of than I have been. But yeah, also feel free to follow me on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram, also under Ashwood Creations. And I look forward to seeing you there. Thank you so much and have a nice night. Bye.